NetCode. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our help desk management system. So as you can see, this is our login screen. So I'm going to sign in. So this is our dashboard. So we have the number of tickets, that is the pie chart and even the bar graphs. Then we have the tickets down here. This is the ticket numbers, the title, description, priority status, created by, created on, and the number of comments. Then we have the tickets categorized as the recent tickets. We have the assigned tickets. You also have resolved tickets. So these are actually based on the statuses, as you can see here. Then you have the closed tickets. So you can see the status is closed. Then you have the ticket comments. These are all the comments for the tickets. Then you have the ticket categories, the ticket subcategories. You can actually create a category, then you create the subcategories and tie to them. Then you have the audit trails. So here you are able to see all the audit trails that are happening within our application. So you're also able to see the details and you're able to see the old values. You can see these are JSON. You also have the new values, the affected columns, and the primary key for the records that were affected. So whether it is an update, it's a new insert, or it's actually a deletion, then you are able to see that. So if you can see here, for example, like the deletion, you'll be able to see that we have this particular record that was deleted, and these were the old values. So in our upcoming videos, you'll be able to see how we can actually revert back this particular record and ensure that we are able to use them again. So we have the system users. So these are all the users within the application. You can create a new user, you tie them to a role, you tie them to a gender, city, and the countries. We'll be changing these to drop down. Then you have the system codes. See, these are options within the application, so you can actually group them. The system code details, you're able to actually provide now the options like the male and female. So the system code will be gender, but the options will be male and female. So you can add another option, for example, like its statuses. You can have different resolution status. For example, this is a resolution status. So resolution statuses can be assigned, closed, escalated, in progress, but the system code that is the parent is the resolution status. Then you have the system roles. These are all roles within the application. We have the departments. You can create a new department. You have the system tasks. So we'll be creating actually roles and profiles in our next upcoming series. So just stay tuned. I'm sure most of you guys are waiting on how you can actually tie rights and roles within the application and even control some areas on where the user can access. So that is part of what we are going to cover. So don't worry. Then we have the user profiles. Then we have the system settings. These are all the settings for the application. You have the countries. You can see here you have the countries and you have actually tied them to the cities. Then here we have the cities now. You're able to see all the cities with their respective countries. So that is a snapshot of our application for those who are new to this channel. And you notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you have not subscribed. So in today's video, I want us to do something interesting. So on our applications, whenever we have been creating cities, for example, cities, you'll notice that you have been using this particular item, user ID, user.find first. So everywhere we are now creating our application, we need the user ID. So as you can see, this is kind of replicating across. So everywhere we are using it, we are actually passing that. So I want us to make this a bit simple. So I want us to create a service. So let's just go here. Then I want us to create a service. So I want us to call it user. I want us to call it user access service. So I want user access service. So I want us to call it user access service. So on this user access service, we are going now to use this user access, So we are going to use this user access service to actually define some of these things to ensure that whenever we just use them, we can actually define them here. So the first thing that I want us to do is I want us to get the user ID. So I'll just do public. Then say static. So we can actually have our so let's just have that. Then here I'll just do public. So this will be static, then string, then we are going to say here get user ID. So our user ID, this should give us the user ID. So here we'll be able to say that this will be this. So here we are going to use our claim principle. So we have actually a video on claims. So we've actually covered this. Then you're going to say user. Then, so as you can see, this is trying to bring some issues here. So we can say public static. So just do public static class. Then here we need to say, do you need this? No, let's just remove that. So let's just have this get user ID. Then here we'll now be able to say if user is not authenticated. So if we say user dot identity, so if user dot identity dot is authenticated, so if that is not authenticated, then what do we need to do? We need to return null. So we just do return null. Then here, if the user is authenticated, so we can say else. If the user is authenticated, we'll say claim principle. Claim principle. So this will be claim principle. Then we can say current logged in user. So we'll just say is equals to user. Then we are going to do here something. So we are going to do here something. So you're going to return. So you're going to say if current logged in user is not equal to null. So what I want us to do is you're going to return. So you're going to return current user, current logged in user. Then we now say find first. Then here we do claims. So you now say claims types dot name identity, name identifier. Then here we say dot value. So this will give us the user ID who is actually logged in. So as you can see, this is saying the current user ID. So else we can actually return null. So we'll just do else, we return null. So as you can see, this is now okay. So this will now give us the logged in user ID. So that is cool. That is it. So what's the issue here? So we need to close it that way. So this will give us the user ID who is logged in. So if I just copy this again, so assuming you want to get the name of the logged in user, so you can actually say get username. So you can say get username. So you'll just do the same. You pass the claim, then you check if it's logged in. Then if someone is logged in, so if we just go to the database, we should now be able to see the information of the user. So here, if we just go to our database, that is the sample help desk. So here, you can actually go to system users. And if you go to system users, we can get the logged in information here. So the first ID, so this get user ID here, get user ID will actually give us this value here. You see this one? It's actually in a string. And we can get the username. So if we just do that, we can actually say, so we can get here the username. So you'll just say first value. So here I'll just do first value, find first value. Then I'll just pass the, so I'll pass the username. So I'll just say username. So if I just do that, so that will give me the username. So if you go here, you'll notice this is our username. You can also get the email. So if I do this, I can do here, get user email. So I'll just do get user email. So to get the user email, you can actually do, so here I'll just do claim. Then I'll just say here, find. So here I'll just say find, logged in user, then find find first. Then here you can do claim types. Then we say dot. So on these claim types, you can actually see there are some values that you can get from here. So here you can see we have the email. You can see you have the email. So if we just do email, you see that will give us the email. And here we can do dot name dot value. No, that one will give us the email. So if we just do dot email. So here also on the name we can actually do. So let's just redo this, and you can do here name. So if we just say here name, so and you can see the claim name. So if we just say name, then you're able to get that. So what happens to those values that maybe we added? For example, on this particular bit, you'll notice that you have the city, the country, the last name, and the role. So to get the role ID, that is the role ID, we can actually now pass that particular. So let's just go here, and you can say get user role. So you can say here get. So here you can say get user role. So if we just do get user role, and here we can now get. So we'll say here get. So here we'll say find first. We'll do find first, and you can do role ID. So if we just do role ID, then we say here dot value. So if we do that, this will give us the get role ID. So I want us now to kind of use this particular. So you can actually now, those details related to a user, you can actually reuse this instead of going and passing this particular code all over. So you can actually define this particular service. Then you'll just be using it and to get all the information that you need. So to use this, I want us now to do something. So if you go to our controllers, let's start with let's say cities. So instead of doing this, you can now replace this with something different. So instead of doing this, you can replace this with now get a user ID, and you should now be able to use the user ID like the way we have been doing. So we'll just say variable user ID. So actually you can let's just retain this. So you can say here user, then you can say dot get. You see, if I just do user, so we'll do here get user ID. So if we just do this, so you're expecting now to get the same user ID that we've been looking for. So let's try and see. So if we just do this, let's try and see. So I'm going to relaunch our app and try and see if we are able to get the user ID here. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, like our video, and you can comment down below. So let's just launch our app and see if we are able to get the user ID. So we need now to replace everywhere we have been using that particular code with this new code. And this will now help us everywhere we need the user ID, we can always be using this. And we should ensure that we are actually minimizing the number of codes that we write. So let's just sign in to our application and check how this goes. So there we go. So if I just sign in, so let me sign in, then we should be able to see. So if we go there, so we are actually on cities. So if I just click create, we are trying to create a city. So I'll just put in some code. So if I click create, there we go. So here, if I just proceed, you'll notice that the user ID here, we're actually getting the user ID. You see, this is the ID. And we are now using this particular code. user ID is equals to user.getID. So the getID user here, if we go to the implementation, it will actually give us this code. So this is where our ID has been found. So what you're going to do is you're going to replace this user ID here. So if we just go to our controllers under cities, so do we have anywhere we have been having user IDs like this one? So we just replace it with this. So this now you see the number, it's actually minimizes now how we are able to see where we are managing our user IDs. So if you do that here again, you're going to do that. That is our cities. If we go to comments, everywhere we have now user ID, we are going to replace it with that. So that's how simple we wanted to have this. So you can replace this here as well that way. Can also do something else here. Yeah, so that's cool. If you go to countries, you can also replace that. So you are doing user.get user ID. So also here, just do get user ID. So if we do that, then we also need to replace it here on create. I think that is the most critical bits. Same thing on data, no? So under departments, we also do that. I'll just do departments here. And then you also have it on the edit. So I'll just paste it that way. So I'm going also to copy this and take it to our delete. So I'm going to pass it here as well. So the same thing on home. I think we are cool here. We need roles. We are cool there. System code details. You can replace it here as well. So we are going to replace it. So that is how we wanted to have these guys. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So I'll also be so let's just do this again here. So I'll replace that. Then do you have anywhere else? So let's just do that on deletion. I think we've replaced under system codes. So we change this to get user. There we go. So here, and also I'm going to replace this on somewhere else here. I'll just do it here. So that is okay. So if I just copy this, and you can go to here, you can have this here. So I've replaced most of the areas. So if we go to system settings, you can also do the same. So, and you can actually kind of search and replace using VS Code. That will be simple. So I'm just replacing this for those who are trying to follow. So, and as you can see, everywhere we had our user ID, we are just replacing this with this new line of code. So system tasks, I just replace that here. I'll just go again on the system task here. I replace it. Then I have it here, and I also replace it. Then I also have tickets categories. I also do this. Then I also do something else here. I'm going to replace this here. Then I'll also do this here. That is cool. On the tickets, so on the tickets, we are also going to replace that. So here we are going to replace the user ID. Then is there anywhere we also have the user IDs? So we have, let's just check. Yes, so there we go, there we go. Yeah, so I think we don't have any other user IDs. Yeah, we have one here. Then we have under edit, there we go. Then deletion, we had another one. So that is mostly what we wanted to cover today. So I'm going to leave it there for today. So on our next video, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually use views in EF Core. So instead of actually doing dot include, you can also use views to actually handle that. So on this particular video, you've been able to see how we have been doing the joins. You can see dot include and doing all this. So you can also convert this to a view and actually return all this information at once. So I'll be showing you on how that can be done. So if we just relaunch our app, we should now be able to create our certain items within our application without any errors. So we have an error somewhere. So yeah, I think there is somewhere we had used logged in user. So this should be constant. So if we just go down here as well, I think it's the same case. So let's just relaunch our app and see. Try to create some items and see if our application is working. So for those who are new to this channel, consider subscribing. And if you feel you need to access or get the source code, you can always claim the source code, which actually goes a long way in ensuring that we provide you guys with the best content and also a series that is easy to follow, and you can actually develop a whole solution using our series. So if you appreciate much of our work, you can always buy us coffee, and we will really appreciate. How one will be a good one. So if we just do now create, our application should be able to create without any challenges. You can see now you are able to create that, and you can say Kenya. So these are some of the information that we just be doing. So you can see our application is able to create without any particular challenge. So we are going to leave our video there today and see you in our next video. Bye.